Taking care of the environment is an important part of everyday life for farmers. We've come to a farm here in the Midlands to discuss the topic. Joining me now is environment expert Liam Sinclair and farm owner Jason Bailey. Liam, how important is the connection between farmers and the environment?
The environment is obviously very important to dairy farmers. Farmers have been moving for the last period of time to be more environmentally conscious. I think it's a genuine feeling amongst farmers that they promote wildlife and biodiversity.
Jason, as a farmer, how satisfying has it been for you to engage with looking after the environment?
Well, we joined the entry-level stewardship scheme in 2005. Which is based on a point system, and we were able to take out some field corners that were very difficult to get into with machinery and plant those with bird mixtures and things, and also let the hedgerows grow up, so there's more of an environment for nesting birds and things like that. So we've enjoyed being members of that scheme.
Liam, just tell me, what is a carbon footprint?
A carbon footprint is a general term that's used to try and calculate how much carbon is required to produce different products and to heat houses and to produce different foodstuffs. And it can be applied to the dairy industry as well, so we can calculate how much carbon it costs to heat, to light a building, to milk cows, to transport feed, to transport milk, and how much the cows emit as well in terms of their digestive processes. So we can work out the overall sort of carbon value that it is, for example, to produce a litre of milk. And once we've got those sort of benchmarks and farmers are aware of that, then they can look at ways of how they can reduce that and the targets that they need to achieve to lower the carbon cost of producing milk or producing meat.
Jason, what have you been looking at in terms of the carbon footprint of this farm?
We've done some carbon footprint work. I think for us really it's all about being efficient in terms of fertiliser use and feed use really.
Liam, there's a common misconception about how cows produce methane. How is it actually produced?
Methane is produced in the first stomach of the cow, which we call the rumen. And inside that rumen there are millions and billions of bugs, and they ferment the food that goes in. But as a consequence, she produces this gas called methane, which she burps out of the front end. There's this misconception that it comes out the back end of the cow, but it's all to do with this forestomach, this rumen. And it's part of the natural digestive process, and it's something that cows have evolved over hundreds of thousands of years, and it's a natural gas produced. So it's in dairy farmers' interest to reduce methane output and lower the carbon footprint. It has a benefit to them and it has a benefit to the environment as well, so it's a win-win situation.
And is the amount of methane as high as people may expect?
It's actually considerably lower. Dairy cows contribute about 2% of the greenhouse gas emissions within this country. And if we take something such as the transport industry, that's more than 10 times as much. And greenhouse gas emissions from dairy farming has been decreasing, and compared with 1990, we're about 25% lower. And that's due to more efficient production and due to healthier cows, higher milk yields, etc. And that makes dairy farming ahead of the sort of UK's targets from Kyoto.
So Liam, does size matter in terms of environmental impact?
The size of the unit really doesn't make a tremendous amount of difference. The amount of methane is related to the individual cow, and it boils down a lot of the time to the management in terms of how effectively farmers can control the diets, they can control the manure application, etc. In some circumstances there may be advantages to being larger. For example, some dairy farms are now looking at putting in anaerobic digesters, and that's where the slurry and the manure and the muck from the cows are put into big vessels and are fermented, and that fermentation produces methane, and that methane can be captured and turned into electricity. So there can be some advantages in terms of environmental impact of larger units, but it really boils down to the individual farm management and how the farmer looks after his cows and how they look after the manure and the slurry and other aspects.